In the previous life, Gu Wenlin disappeared with Bai Xiaomei for 20 years after knowing I was pregnant. Later, when I was almost dead, he came back. He looked at Bai Xiaomei's photo and said to me, "If I had waited a little longer to marry you then, would the ending have been different?" Realizing I had been reborn, Gu Wenlin stood at the dormitory doorway, waiting for me to go together to get our marriage license. I lied and said I wanted to give something to a colleague, to send Gu to the marriage registration office to wait for me. After separating from Gu Wenlin, I went up the mountain, lying on Aunt Wang's rocking chair, watching the sea of clouds in front of the house. Basking in the sun, Aunt Wang handed me a roasted sweet potato and curiously asked, "Aren't you planning to get your certificate with Engineer Gu today? How did you end up here?" I took a bite of the warm roasted sweet potato. Smiling, I said to her, "Auntie, I had a nightmare, and waking up left me unsettled." Auntie Wang comforted me. "That was just a dream. What matters is the life you're living. After you marry Engineer Gu, there will be good days to come. Why fear any nightmare?" I was momentarily stunned, then nodded with a smile. "Auntie is right. I'll stay here for a while and then leave. Marry Gu Wenlin. That will never happen in this lifetime. In my previous life, after Gu Wenlin and I completed the marriage registration, we had just walked out of the civil affairs office. He ran into a girl Heiden. The girl is named Bai Xiaomei, living in the village where we work. On the way back together, Gu Wenlin remained silent. I took him to be a husband who had become mindful of avoiding relationships with women. I didn't expect to find out only when I was about to die. It turned out that collision made Gu Wenlin fall in love with Bai Xiaomei at first sight. He isn't avoiding suspension. He's regretting why he couldn't delay obtaining the marriage certificate by one more day. Since that day, Gu Wenlin has been much colder toward me. Always sits alone, staring in the direction of the village. I asked him why, but he avoided answering. As I asked more times and combined with being busy at work, I stopped asking. Only when he figures it out. Will he be willing to communicate with me proactively? After the village project ends, he and Gu Wenlin were assigned to different project teams. We had to live apart in 2 places. I thought it was only temporary. But with each subsequent assignment, he was in the far north and south of the country with me. I've mentioned it to Gu Wenlin, and he only replied with a faint line, "Obey the organization's arrangements." Until one day, I returned to Beijing to report for duty. Hearing the colleagues' conversations, I realized that besides the first time we were assigned separately, from then on, every time it happened, it was the result of Gu Wenlin actively applying to his superiors. I had a big argument with Gu Wenlin. Afterwards, he hugged me and apologized, but he never explained the reason. When day broke, Gu Wenlin left. I think my marriage with him is over. An accident always comes suddenly. I am pregnant. After learning I was pregnant, Gu Wenlin changed from his previous indifference. He began to attentively take care of my daily life. He would clumsily try to cook for me, will press the ear against the belly to listen to the baby blow bubbles, will accompany me on a walk every night. One day, suddenly, Gu Wenlin disappeared. I asked many people, searched for him for a long time. No one knows where exactly he went, and no one can tell me whether he is dead or alive. I started prenatal checkups alone, gave birth alone, took the child to the hospital alone, and raised the child alone. I organized both sides of the parents' funerals alone. I thought he was dead, but when I reflected back, he suddenly appeared before me. Only at this moment did I realize that for the past 20 years he had been with Bai Xiaomei. They adopted a son and gave all their love to him. Only Bai Xiaomei carried the heaviness in her heart and went ahead of him. Before leaving, the regret was that in this lifetime she could not become his wife. Gu Wenlin said he was sorry to me, then resented me. I feel it's all so unreasonable. Since you don't love me, why don't you tell me sooner? He could have divorced me and given Bai Xiaomei a home. And he shouldn't abandon his wife and child. Ignore his parents. What right does he have to resent me? The son I raised with my own hands said he envied the adopted son who was nurtured with love by Gu Wenlin and Bai Xiaomei. He blamed me for bringing him into this world without his permission. Only at this moment did I realize that long before I knew. He had already been in contact with his father, but had kept it from me all along. I stayed at Aunt Wang's house for an hour. After saying goodbye to Aunt Wang, I headed straight to the marriage registry office. When I arrived at the marriage registry office, I happened to see Gu Wenlin helping Bai Xiaomei up. I saw Gu Wenlin staring at Bai Xiaomei, unwilling to look away for a long time. What was originally a slightly angry expression turned stunning. In the last life, I was busy helping Bai Xiaomei to her feet and talking with her. I didn't notice Gu Wenlin's unusual behavior. Now, from the perspective of a passerby, it turns out everything was so obvious. Wenlin, I've arrived. You must have been waiting anxiously, right? Seeing me appear. Gu Wenlin stiffened all over and quickly turned flustered. Ah, this. Man, you're here. I noticed Bai Xiaomei looked at me differently from the previous life, with a complex expression and eyes full of jealousy. Wait for me to look back. She had returned to normal. As if everything was my illusion. I am very curious. In this life I have not yet obtained a marriage certificate. Gu Wenlin met Bai Xiaomei earlier than expected. How will he choose? It is to break up with me and choose Bai Xiaomei, or continue as in the last life. Officially registering for marriage with me while sleeping with Bai Xiaomei. It's getting late. Let's go in and get our license. I pretended to be in a hurry. Gu Wenlin's face turned pale. Ow, my foot hurts. Bai Xiaomei cried out in pain at the right moment, breaking the momentary silence. In the previous life, Bai Xiaomei wasn't injured. Why is she injured in this life? And at such a perfectly timed moment? Could it be that she has also been reborn? I looked at Bai Xiaomei with a scrutinizing gaze, but I found nothing. Gu Wenlin took Bai Xiaomei to the health clinic. The doctor said that apart from wounds that would heal if they waited a bit longer, there was nothing else. Bai Xiaomei's face turned flushed. Gu Wenlin looked happy. On the way back, they passed by the marriage registry office. Gu Wenlin wore a look of hesitation. Man, they're closed for the day. Should we come back tomorrow? I said lightly. Let's wait and see. You also need to pick a good day to register. But in this lifetime, there will never be a good day suitable for getting registered. A smile tugged at the corners of my lips. Gu Wenlin sighed. All right. I'll go back and tell Aunt Wang. 4. Gu Wenlin and I arrived by bicycle. On the way back, Bai Xiaomei sat in Gu Wenlin's car without hesitation. Gu Wenlin looked at me, a bit awkward, but he did not refuse. I pretended not to see and rode away on my bicycle. A cool breeze rustled by, bringing the voices of Bai Xiaomei and Gu Wenlin. I couldn't hear exactly what they were saying, but I could sense the happiness in their tone, and Gu Wenlin's deliberately restrained smile. How long has it been since I last saw Gu Wenlin laugh? Last life. After I seemed to meet Bai Xiaomei. Gu Wenlin faced me without any more smile. But now, none of that matters to me. We entered the village, and the villagers saw Bai Xiaomei sitting in Gu Wenlin's car. An arm circled around Gu Wenlin's waist. When they looked at me, they either winked at me or coughed and shook their heads. I knew what they were trying to say, but I still smiled and returned to the dormitory. 5. To get married. Gu Wenlin had already rented a wedding room in advance. Most of the belongings had already been moved over. I passed by the wedding room and paused to stop the car. There are 2 bedrooms on either side of the wedding room, with a main room in the middle, and a small courtyard. In my previous life, after I came back from the marriage registry office, I saw the big red wedding character posters at home and felt a heart full of sweetness. No one knew that the day before the marriage certificate was issued, the groom was happily busy decorating the bridal room. But the night of the wedding had no spark. That night, like countless lonely nights that would come later, we lay quietly on the bed, not doing anything. Yet none of us could fall asleep. 6. Before Gu Wenlin could return, I pushed the bicycle back to the dormitory. As soon as I reached the dormitory, I took the reappointment to Beijing from the drawer. They say I'm being reassigned, but what awaited me back there was a promotion and a raise. In the previous life, I gave up this opportunity in order to marry Gu Wenlin. 3 months later, we were reassigned to different places. After that, Gu Wenlin intentionally talked to me about everything under the sun, from north to south. Later I became pregnant, and Gu Wenlin disappeared. I have to raise the child by myself and also take care of both sets of parents. I was unable to keep up at work and gradually moved from a key department to a marginal one. I never got promoted or received a raise in my whole life. My elementary school-age son, whenever he sees me in my ordinary, busy life, always wears a look of disgust. He said, "Other people's mothers are all so beautiful. Why can't you be like someone else? Dress yourself properly. Dress me pale." By Xiaomei. The more I recall, the more I feel a chill. Back then, my son had already been in contact with his father, who had disappeared. But he kept it a secret from me for his whole life. Ridiculous. So ridiculous. 7. During dinner, Gu Wenlin didn't come to find me as he usually does. I went to the canteen to get my own meal box. In the canteen, I saw Gu Wenlin and Bai Xiaomei sitting facing each other. They were scooping dishes for each other. Not sure what Gu Wenlin said. Bai Xiaomei covered her mouth and laughed. When he saw me, Gu Wenlin was first startled, then hurriedly stood up. Man, you're here. Xiaomei just got home. There's nothing to eat at home. I'll bring her over to have a bite first. I plan to bring you a portion later. I didn't expect you to come so early. There aren't many people in the canteen at this time. There weren't many dishes left. I can't help but think of the last life. After we got our marriage certificate, Gu Wenlin said he would go to the canteen to eat, but I waited very late for him to come back. Coming back, my hands were empty. He just said to me in a bland voice, "The cafeteria food is gone. Endure one more night." That night, if you had to hear a sound, it would be the sound of my stomach growling in hunger. So in the previous life, at this time, Gu Wenlin had already started taking care of Bai Xiaomei. I didn't speak. Passing by him, I packed the remaining dishes and brought them back to the dormitory. We were halfway through eating when the dorm door was knocked. It was Gu Wenlin and Bai Xiaomei. Gu Wenlin looked at me with a complicated expression, clearing his throat softly. Man, I want to discuss something with you." I remained silent, not answering him. Gu Wenlin glanced at Bai Xiaomei, who stood beside him, looking cautious. The gentleness fills my eyes, and when I speak again, my tone carries more resolve. Man, that Xiaomei just got back from the city. You know, she's the only one in her family. No one has lived at home for a long time, and it needs cleaning, since we're not yet married. I think I want to temporarily lend our wedding room to Xiaomei to stay for a few days. I glanced at white Xiaomei. Bai Xiaomei looked like a frightened rabbit, shrinking back and hiding behind Gu Wenlin. In a past life and the present, I see two completely different Bai Xiaomei. If you tell me that Bai Xiaomei didn't reincarnate, I wouldn't believe it. But I didn't have time to play along with her. I don't want this man anymore. No matter how much Bai Xiaomei does, in my view it's all useless. Sure. That's your house. You call the shots. Gu Wenlin didn't expect me to agree so readily. The prepared lines he was about to say suddenly stuck in his throat, neither going up nor down. But I don't like others touching my things. I'll go and put my things away later. Gu Wenlin was taken aback for a moment, then rushed to say, No. I will move your things to another room. So he not only wanted Bai Xiaomei to move into our wedding room, she still wants her to sleep on our wedding bed. It's ridiculous. I saw Bai Xiaomei also curled her lips into a smile. 8. After dinner, I took a flashlight and went to the wedding room to pack up things. When I arrived, Gu Wenlin was busy helping Bai Xiaomei make the bed. He was still using the bedding I had carefully chosen for the wedding night. Gu Wenlin looked at me in a bit of surprise. Man, why did you come? I've already put all your things in my room. Oh. I answered with a sound and turned to the next room to fetch something. Gu Wenlin followed, his expression complex. eyes carrying emotions I couldn't understand. Man. At this moment, Bai Xiaomei ran out from the room. Brother Wenlin. That bedsheet you and Man are going to use for the wedding, right? If you give it to me to sleep on, would that be okay? I don't mind sleeping on dirty clothes is fine too. Bai Xiaomei lowered her voice more and more as she spoke. I saw Gu Wenlin look at her with pity in his eyes. He looked at me. Man, look. All the sheets at home are new. This bedsheet. How could I miss the flash of triumph in Bai Xiaomei's eyes? Only she doesn't know that Gu Wenlin, such a scumbag, since the moment I reincarnated, has decided not to want him anymore. I nonchalantly said, this bedsheet was bought with your money. You call the shots. Thank you, Sister Man, Brother Wenlin. You've been so good to me. Wow. I never expected that one day I could move into Brother Wenlin's marital home and sleep in Brother Wenlin's wedding bed. This sounded wrong to hear. And Gu Wenlin felt it too, but he looked at me without speaking, as if testing my bottom line. Bai Xiaomei seemed to realize something after finishing, covering her mouth, acting like she had done something wrong. Sorry, Sister Man, I'm sorry. You didn't misunderstand. There isn't anything between me and Brother Wenlin. I think I'd better sleep in the dirty clothes. With that, she reached for the dirty clothes in the package. Gu Wenlin hurriedly stopped her. I comforted Bai Xiaomei. It's nothing. You sleep peacefully. It's not a big deal for me. Gu Wenlin didn't seem to see anything on my face, standing aside lost in thought. I was busy packing things, had no time to pay attention to him. Bai Xiaomei deliberately makes things worse, drawing more and more attention to herself. It's nothing but to anger me, so that in front of Gu Wenlin she appears vulnerable and easily bullied, to make Gu Wenlin hate me. But as for me, who has a second chance at life, I won't care. Her only fortune is that she never danced for me in front of everyone in the last life. This life, the dancing isn't enough. I approach Bai Xiaomei and whisper in her ear. Xiaomei, you're overthinking. How could I care? Your Wenlingage is also good for you. There's nothing hard to understand in that. If he marries you, I wouldn't mind at all. I just don't know whether he will marry you or not. I look at Bai Xiaomei again, and smile while winking at her. When Bai Xiaomei heard this, her face turned very ugly. She couldn't understand why I had become different from the fool of a clingy, deceitful follower in the previous life. But soon she realized something, and when she looked at me again, she wore a smug expression. 9. I tidy up my things. I shoulder the package and prepare to leave. Gu Wenlin suddenly calls out to me from behind. He steps forward, wanting to take the package on my back. I am rejected. Joke. Bai Xiaomei has been reborn too. In the previous life, she spent a lifetime doing third things. This time, I came back to formalize my status. She has treated Gu Wenlin as if he were her private property, and I don't want to cause trouble for myself. When Gu Wenlin saw me avoid him, his eyes were full of hurt when he looked at me. Man, are you angry? I can explain to you. Strange. The person in the last life who would rather waste my entire life than open her mouth. This lifetime, I opened my mouth, but I already know what he's going to say. It's nothing more than using the pretext of care to do emotionally detached things. Explanation. Needless. Not to mention that Baixia Omiai wouldn't agree either. Aw. Sure enough, hearing Baixia Omiai's scream, Gu Wenlin no longer cared about sending me off, and turned around to run into the house. I sneered, tugged at the package on my back, and left. 10. In the last life, I married Gu Wenlin for 21 years, and my life ended at the age of 45. This age is considered a premature death at a relatively young age. When I gave birth to that white-eyed wolf, I had a difficult delivery with heavy bleeding. My body's foundation was ruined back then. Later, before my body fully recovered, I had to raise my son by myself, and I had to take care of Gu Wenlin's unreasonable parents as well. Also work while running around to look for Gu Wenlin. The body is not as good as it used to be day by day. Being able to raise my son to 20 years old is the result of my utmost effort. Since Gu Wenlin's disappearance, I haven't slept well a single night. Now that I have been reborn, I did not marry Gu Wenlin. Not because of overwork that exhausted my life. My body is healthy. I can finally sleep soundly and peacefully. A night without dreams. The first good sleep in 2 lifetimes. 11. The next day, I asked for leave from my supervisor and told him about my consent to transfer back to Beijing. The supervisor looked puzzled. Didn't you say that after marrying Mr. Gu you didn't want to live apart from him? I shook my head. I will not marry him. For me, the most important thing now is my career. The leader looked at me with a relieved smile. In the previous life, the leader had also advised me. He said, with your abilities, you can achieve greater development. It was I who fell for the male scum and gave up such a good opportunity. I asked my supervisor to help me keep my departure under wraps. I also discussed with the supervisor the timing of my departure. Leaving the supervisor's office, I headed straight for the train station. Train tickets in this period are hard to come by. You have to wait in long lines for a long time. When I rode my bike past our wedding home, through the lattice fence, I saw Gu Wenlin and Bai Xiaomei squatting in the yard brushing their teeth together. Gu Wenlin deftly and naturally took the towel from the clothesline and personally helped Bai Xiaomei wipe her hands. Bai Xiaomei looked at him with a tender, affectionate expression. It seemed that after one night, there had been a qualitative leap between them. Seeing me ride by on a bicycle past the door, Gu Wenlin's face went pale, and he hurried to put some distance between himself and Bai Xiaomei. I withdrawn my gaze, completely indifferent to one who is guilty of stealing and another whose look is wounded. With my memory as guide, I arrived at the train station. After paying to store the bicycle, I followed the crowd into the ticket hall. At this time, people going on trips far from home were each carrying large and small bags on their shoulders, from needles and threads to bedding and laundry baskets. They took everything they could onto the train. I looked at the crowded crowd and finally decided to bring as little as possible, especially for the bulky items that take up space. Those that can be sold should be sold, and those that cannot be sold should be given away to people. After waiting in line for a long time, I still chose the sleeper berth ticket over the standing ticket. I suffered through a lifetime in the previous life. In this life I just want to be good to myself. 12. By the time I left the train station, it was already afternoon. After a lifetime apart, with no experience, I forgot to bring food and queued. I missed lunch while buying a train ticket. And I was so hungry my stomach pressed against my back. I asked around and found the state-owned restaurant that my past self and Gu Wenlin had come to. Back then, through a colleague's introduction, we agreed to meet here for a blind date. Gu Wenlin looked good, with fair skin. The clean type that I like. Similar to me, also skilled workers, and both of our families are in Beijing. At the time, I thought it would be convenient if the two families interacted more in the future, and he was very satisfied with my appearance. We decided to give it a try. During our relationship, he wasn't exactly especially good to me, but he wasn't bad either. In life, he took care of me in every way. In work, when we encountered difficult problems, he would work with me to solve them. I didn't have a fluttering love with him. What there was more of was suitability. I thought I would live a peaceful, quiet life with him for a lifetime. I didn't expect him to unexpectedly drop a bomb on me. Gu Wenlin proposed to me after we had been together for 2 months. At that moment, it was clear that he was happy about deciding to enter into marriage with me. But in the end, adolescence couldn't withstand a sudden twist of fate. The appearance of Bai Xiaomei made him feel the flutter of the heart. His emotions drifted away. Love that arises unknowingly and deeply goes on, but he absolutely must not. Under any circumstances, he should not selfishly abandon everything for love. Wasting my life. 12. Park the bike. I enter the state-owned restaurant. There aren't many people at this time. So, my eyes immediately spot Gu Wenlin and Bai Xiaomei sitting in the corner. Bai Xiaomei saw me first. She stood up and waved at me warmly. Sister Man. Are you going to eat? Weren't you just with Brother Wenlin? Come along. Don't be polite, it's just adding a pair of chopsticks. No wonder she's the top-tier green tea who's been stealing other people's husbands for more than 20 years. 2 sentences and I put myself at the head of the table. Sorry to bother you two on your date, I said with a bright smile. Glancing at Gu Wenlin. Gu Wenlin clearly panicked. He hurriedly stood up to help me move the chair. Sister Mantao. Please don't misunderstand. My relationship with Brother Wenlin isn't what you think. Brother Wenlin just thinks I'm too skinny and wants to help me regain some weight. Well, there she goes flaunting herself again. I ignored Gu Wenlin's movements and sat down beside Bai Xiaomei. Gu Wenlin, he touched his nose and sat down awkwardly. Seeing a whole table full of fish and meat, I was stunned. Good heavens. This meal would cost Gu Wenlin at least half a month's salary. To Bai Xiaomei, he was really generous. Bai Xiaomei scooped a piece of braised pork for me. Man's sister, you should taste the braised pork here. Brother Wenlin said the braised pork here is the tastiest. You must order me some, he also said. When we leave, he'll pack one for me to take away. Come, try it. There's also fish. You should try the fish too. I've never tasted fish so delicious. Brother Wenlin said he can cook as well, and when we go back, he will cook it for me often. Could Wenlin in this life cook? In the last life, when I was pregnant, he was in the kitchen all flustered, either dropping bowls or smashing dishes. I still pushed him out of the kitchen and cooked for myself. So love can be pretended after all. I took a bite of the braised pork and savored it carefully. Indeed, it tasted good. Things from this era are all solid and genuine. This pork smells really good. And this river fish has no hint of the oil smell afterward at all. It is truly fresh and tender. I savor it slowly, not paying any attention to what Bai Xiaomei said. Bai Xiaomei suddenly screamed, almost making me drop my chopsticks in fright. Sorry, Sister Man. I was just scared by a fish bone. I was just asking where I left off. Oh right, Sister Man. Have you ever eaten dishes cooked by Brother Wenlin? If you haven't, you can come to my house tonight. Brother Wenlin promised to cook for me. Right, Brother Wenlin. Scared by a fish bone. It really scared me. Obviously I'm not paying attention. So Bai Xiaomei can't bear it anymore. Someone deliberately reminded me. Frightened by the fishbone. Show off. Keep showing off. Wait until I leave. See who you'll show off to. Little Mei. Sister, you're really lucky. You and Wenlingage have known each other for so long. And I didn't know he could cook. You two just met 2 days ago. And he promised to cook for you. Thanks to you, I'm in for a good meal tonight. It was originally meant to drive me crazy with envy. Who would have thought? I simply don't care at all. Bai Xiaomei froze. Gu Wenlin's face alternated between green and pale during this process. I continued eating, not at all caring about their reactions. When my scallion-topped tofu was served, I pushed it in front of Bai Xiaomei and Gu Wenlin, inviting them to eat together. The rest of the meal became much quieter. I can finally eat with peace of mind. 13. When I stepped out of the state-owned restaurant, I greeted Bai Xiaomei and Gu Wenlin, then rode off. I want to go to the post office to call my parents. After Gu Wenlin disappeared in my previous life, I raised the child by myself, had to take care of Gu Wenlin's parents, and still had to go to work. Every day I was as busy as a spinning top. For some reason, although my family's background isn't worse than theirs at all, Gu's father and Gu's mother looked down on me. Not only did they not help me with the child, but they also found ways to torment me. If I showed them the slightest bit of disrespect, they would come to my workplace to make trouble. At that time, a formal job was not easy to come by, especially since I also had to support my son. Therefore, I endured it. When my parents heard about my situation, they helped me a lot while taking care of their grandson and granddaughter. They were thinking of finding another person to marry me off. But after Gu's father and Gu's mother found out, they stormed to my parents and caused a scene. They said our family wanted to force the old couple to death. Moreover, whenever there was a man willing to meet me, Mother Gu would always have my son follow behind us. Then she would make her son run up to me, crying and making a scene. Gradually, no one was willing to look at me anymore. So I gave up on remarrying and devoted myself to raising my son. During this period, because of my father and Mother Gu, my parents endured a lot of grievances, but more of their worry was for me, until they passed away. The thing they could not let go of the most was still me. The phone soon connected. After a lifetime apart, hearing my parents' voices again made me cry. Detecting the choked sound in my voice, Mom and Dad were very worried. They thought Gu Wenlin had bullied me. Fuming, I almost came over to confront Gu Wenlin about it. I calmed them down and told Mom and Dad about what had happened recently and my decision. Dad and Mom were silent on the other end of the phone for a long time. In the end, they only said that if it was the result of my careful consideration, they would respect me. I finally let out a sigh. I told them about my plan to move back to Beijing. The train ticket to leave is for 3 days later. Mom and Dad said they would surely cook a lot of things I love and wait for me at home. 15. Back in the dormitory, I opened the door. I found Gu Wenlin sitting at my desk, flipping through study materials in his hands. I almost forgot. He also has a key to my dorm. Seeing the locked drawer containing the transfer report, I breathed a sigh of relief. With my relationship with Gu Wenlin now unclear, I don't want any more incidents after I leave. Gu Wenlin saw that I had returned and hurriedly stood up to pour water for me. He had something to say, but he hesitated and never spoke. I sit on the bed, slowly sipping tea, waiting for him to speak. Finally, he couldn't hold back anymore. He turns his body to look at me. Man, me and Xiaomei aren't what you think. I swallow the tea in my mouth and say lightly, what exactly did you think? Gu Wenlin choked on his words. If I am still the same person from the previous life, whether he explains it or not, I will believe him. But after all, I have lived a life, seen and experienced my own miserable life. Even if Gu Wenlin explains 1,000 times or 10,000 times, to me, it is nonsense. He said it to me at my bedside before I died in a previous life. His love for Xiaomei by at first sight was true love. It's not a feeling I can compare with ours. I'm more like the third party in his feelings for Bai Xiaomei. It is a flaw, a thorn in the flesh. Man, whether you believe it or not, I just feel that Bai Xiaomei's parents are both dead, and as an orphan girl she isn't doing well, so I want to take care of her a bit more. When Gu Wenlin explained to me, his gaze drifted. He didn't even dare look me in the eye. How could I believe him? But I still spoke up. All right, I believe you. Can you leave now? I've had a long day and want to rest. Oh, and please leave my dorm key here. Gu Wenlin's face stiffened at once. Obviously he could tell I didn't trust him. 16. After Gu Wenlin left, I wiped the chair he had sat on. It's dirty, really dirty. I began to tidy things up. In the 6 months I've worked here, I don't have many belongings. It's mostly clothes, bedding, and daily necessities. What really needs to be accounted for are the wedding items we bought together with Gu Wenlin. It seems I should find a time to settle accounts with Gu Wenlin before I leave. At this moment, there was a knock on the door. It was Gu Wenlin. He was holding a box of pastries in his hand. Happily, he handed it to me. Here, man, open and take a look. I took the snack box and opened it. Inside were money and tickets. Gu Wenlin smiled and said, I was ready this morning. After we get married, I'll let you manage my money. You just need to give me living expenses on time every month. Looking at Gu Wenlin in front of me, I suddenly felt unfamiliar. In the previous life, don't say I turned over my wages. After getting the marriage certificate and tying the knot, I didn't see even a single dime from him. When I had a heavy postpartum bleed, his parents didn't contribute a cent, and even shouted, let her die. Saving her is a waste of money. It was my parents and my brother-in-law who funded the doctors to save me. That's how I survived. All the money his parents spent on medicine and on the funeral was on me. During the 20 years when Gu Wenlin was missing, he secretly contacted his son. I suppose you also have contact with his parents. I don't know if he gave them money. I only know that before Mrs. Gu passed away, she called my son inside. When my son came out again, although he struggled to show his grief, I could still see a gleam of joy in his eyes. After the funeral, in her room, I didn't find anything valuable. Later I fell ill, with no money to treat it, and I could only drag on. This delay continues until there's finally a glimmer of hope. Thinking about last life, Gu Wenlin might know that I needed money for my illness, thinking that my son might be hiding the money his grandmother gave him. But he was unwilling to give me money for treatment. I only feel the dull ache in my heart. Gu Wenlin saw me suddenly tremble all over, hurrying up to help me. I pushed him away in one move. I leaned against the wall, catching my breath for a long while before I recovered. When I looked back at Gu Wenlin, only indifference remained in his eyes. Gu Wenlin's heart gave a jolt. I looked at the money in the iron box. Since Gu Wenlin had brought the money, I naturally have no reason to suffer losses. The debts from the last life are beyond calculation. But this time, they must be settled clearly. I took half of the wedding expenses from the box, hand the remaining money and the box to Gu Wenlin. Gu Wenlin saw my actions, puzzled, but didn't ask anything. Even a dull person could sense the changes in me before and after. He didn't understand what had happened in these few short minutes. I just feel that some things seemed to be getting out of control. After confirming that I was unharmed, he kept glancing back every 3 steps. 17. That night, I slept very restlessly. The life I saw in the last life. Father Gu and Mother Gu told Gu Wenlin about the heavy bleeding I suffered during childbirth. Gu Wenlin only gave a faint on the phone. I also saw that when our son was still in swaddling clothes, Father Gu and Mother Gu kept it from me and secretly took the child to meet Gu Wenlin. Gu Wenlin knows that I have been looking for him, but he joined with everyone to hide it from me. No wonder everyone who knows him keeps silent about me. I even dreamed of colleagues I worked with for many years in a previous life. They extol the love between Gu Wenlin and Bai Xiaomei. As for me, this wife of mine is just the red thread they spoke of, inadvertently tangled by the old man of matchmaking while he was drunk. Ha! How ridiculous. When I woke from the dream, tears soaked the pillow. But I'm still alive, living healthily. Isn't there still a chance in life? 18. The next 2 days I was busy with work handover. I arranged with Bai Xiaomei to go eat the dishes cooked by Gu Wenlin. Also because that night the money box was settled quietly, I thought I would just let it be. But in the evening, Bai Xiaomei came to see me. She invited me to come over for a meal. Unable to resist such kindness, I agreed. When it was dinner time, I showed up at the door with gifts. Through the bamboo fence, I could see Bai Xiaomei and Gu Wenlin embracing. Gu Wenlin's hand rested on Bai Xiaomei's most tender place, stroking and kneading. When he saw me, his face turned paler than ever. Bai Xiaomei also looked terrified, busy tidying up almost fully opened buttons. I said nothing, turned and left. I ate the feast Bai Xiaomei invited me to tonight, so no need to bring a gift. Not long after leaving, Gu Wenlin chased after me. He grabbed me and hurried to explain. Man, listen to my explanation. Xiaomei and I aren't what you saw. What do you mean? That you two are embracing, half-dressed? Or that your hand was in a place it shouldn't be? In these 2 days, although I've been busy with work handovers, I haven't stopped listening to Aunt Wang nagging. Aunt Wang can't stand the mistress the most, especially someone like Bai Xiaomei, who not only knows the third party but also keeps leaping back and forth in front of the rightful owner. She always reports the disgusting things about Gu Wenlin and Bai Xiaomei in real time. She spoke. Someone in the village saw Bai Xiaomei intentionally press against Gu Wenlin with her body, and Gu Wenlin did not dodge. Someone saw Bai Xiaomei and Gu Wenlin eating from the same bowl. Someone saw Bai Xiaomei and Gu Wenlin holding hands in a secluded place. At this moment, Gu Wenlin in front of me looked rather flustered. I can't understand it. He did so much with Bai Xiaomei, yet he still came in front of me, asking me not to misunderstand. Could it be that, like in the previous life, I would take care of his parents at home for him? Is he and Bai Xiaomei tender and affectionate with each other outside the relationship? Before Bai Xiaomei appeared, only I could get close to you. Only about an hour after Bai Xiaomei appeared, you carried her to the hospital. Not even 3 hours know each other. You allowed her to sit on the bicycle and hold your waist. We've known each other for less than 5 hours. You abandoned me and ate with her in the cafeteria. We've known each other for less than 7 hours. You allowed her to stay in our marital home. Sleep on our marriage bed. With the bedding and sheets I prepared for our wedding. We've known each other for less than a day. You were willing to spend half a month's salary to treat her to a feast. Also, we've known each other for less than a day. You were willing to personally cook stew for her. You don't avoid her touch. Share a meal with her. And hold her hand. Now embrace him. And caress her. Can you still swear before me that there is nothing between you two? That everything is clean? Do you think I'll believe it? Perhaps my words become more and more explosive with each sentence. And Gu Wenlin's body can't help but tremble. He muttered, but couldn't say a single word. Let me guess. Why you're afraid I'll misunderstand. You feel compelled to explain yourself to me, even throw money at me. Hoping I'll believe you. On the day we planned to register for our marriage certificate, you fell in love with Bai Xiaomei at first sight. Bai Xiaomei felt the same. So she pretended to be injured to stop us from getting our certificate. And at that time, because you had feelings for Bai Xiaomei, you actually didn't want to continue registering with me. It's just that these days, you might have understood it. You love Bai Xiaomei and want to be with her under the moon and flowers. I looked into Gu Wenlin's eyes and said word by word. But at the same time, you need a capable wife to take care of your parents. If this capable wife can help you see your parents through to old age, that would be even better, wouldn't it? Hearing this, Gu Wenlin suddenly looked up at me with eyes full of disbelief. Seeing his surprised look, I actually felt sad inside. Feeling sad for someone so calculating. Wasting a lifetime. The sadness I believed in the supposed sweetness we once had after marriage was all just a joke. I can't deceive myself anymore. Likewise, I won't allow Gu Wenlin to continue deceiving me. 19. That night I returned to the dormitory and organized the luggage I needed to take. Bai Xiaomei appeared at this moment. She glared at me ferociously. Oh man, you're back as well, aren't you? Seeing my calm expression, she let out a soft snort. When she looked at me again, her eyes were full of contempt and mockery. In the last life, you occupied Brother Wenlin's wife's position. So what? You still served his parents as a mother for a whole generation. Raised a son with great effort. Yet when you didn't know, he called me mom. Haha. Isn't that the funniest thing? Your husband is mine. And your son is mine too. Even though you've been reborn in this life, you can't change the fact that Brother Wenlin loves me. In this lifetime, Brother Wenlin's wife will be meant only me. Although I was utterly disappointed with my son from a previous life, hearing him privately call Bai Xiaomei mom still caused me deep pain. Fortunately, no matter whether he agreed or not, I will never bring him into this world. Like a cock ready to crow, Bai Xiaomei kept babbling incessantly in front of me. You can see in my eyes a pity, compassion, and mercy, but no anger. She ran away in a hurry. To me, she is just as pitiable as I am. In this life, without me having her back and backing Gu Wenlin, could they still live as happily as they did in the last life? 20. 10 minutes past midnight. I couldn't sleep. And I left the dormitory to look at the moon, but I was startled by the shadow seated at the door, under the light coming from inside the house. I saw clearly that it was Gu Wenlin. He reeked of strong alcohol. I don't know how long he had been sitting here. I realized that even if I lived a second life, I still couldn't understand him. I carried a flashlight to find White Xiaomei. When Bai Xiaomei heard that I came to ask her to fetch Gu Wenlin to go home, she was obviously taken aback. But she still didn't say a word and followed me back to the dormitory. Gu Wenlin was asleep, and Bai Xiaomei reluctantly dragged her away. I didn't help. The man she fell in love with. Let her bear the consequences herself. The next day, when I was packing my luggage and about to leave, Aunt Wang came up. She pulled me along to see the show. I followed her all the way to the wedding room that once belonged to me and Gu Wenlin. Seeing Gu Wenlin's face was furious, staring at Bai Xiaomei sitting on the ground, clothes disheveled. It turned out that last night after Bai Xiaomei brought Gu Wenlin back, thinking about Gu Wenlin chasing after me and his distraught appearance when he returned, and the moment when he got drunk and slept in front of my dormitory door, even in my dreams. They were calling my name. She could not sit still at all, taking advantage of Gu Wenlin's drunkenness. Even though Gu Wenlin treated her as if she were me, she still slept with him. From what I heard from the villagers about what happened, I felt extremely disgusted. Holding the luggage, she turned to leave, but was dragged back by Gu Wenlin in one grab. Man, let me explain. This scumbag isn't finished. Is he? I take a deep breath and look at him without a ripple in my eyes. Gu Wenlin, I thought I had been very clear with you yesterday. Gu Wenlin tries to see through my eyes to find whether I still harbor a trace of affection for him. But you'll be disappointed. In my eyes, there is only indifference toward him as a stranger. Because I don't care. I don't get angry. Because I don't get angry. I don't mind. He finally realized that I really don't care about him. Gu Wenlin weakly let go of my hand. His voice was muffled. Behind me. And he whispered softly, "Sorry. Sorry for what? For this lifetime? Or for the previous one?" 21. I left Yuanshan village. Back in Jing City. Seeing my healthy and happy parents again, I burst into tears. Every day after my rebirth, even though I look at ease, there is always a heavy mountain pressed in my heart. That is my whole life. A life so heavy it suffocates. How could I possibly let go so easily? So lightly. I would cut Gu Wenlin and Bai Xiaomei into pieces 1,000 times over. But I have parents. And my brother and sister-in-law. I cannot ruin the life I restarted for the sake of 2 screw-ups. Until this moment, seeing that my parents, who have not yet been dragged down by me, are healthy and well, only then do I feel the relief of lifting a great burden. I spent a few days with my parents. Amid days of parental kindness and filial devotion, I returned to work, without the burden of my son and my adoptive parents. I completed my tasks very well. It wasn't long before I was promoted and given a raise. I was also hired as a professor by a university, which finally fulfilled my lifelong dream of teaching. 22. Hearing news of Gu Wenlin again came a year later. Bai Xiaomei finally fulfilled her wish from her previous life. She married Gu Wenlin and became the head wife. Not long after the marriage, Gu Wenlin took her back to Jing City. Father Gu and Mother Gu are not easy to deal with at all. In the previous life, my family had good background and good jobs. Yet they still looked down on me. They looked even down on Bai Xiaomei, who had no job. Thus, they used every trick to torpedo Bai Xiaomei. The Gu family is in a constant state of chaos. Gu Wenlin wants to take Bai Xiaomei away, but Gu's father and mother refuse, making a scene as if their lives depended on it. They believe that Bai Xiaomei has no job, and marrying their son would be a step up too far for her. Just thinking of Bai Xiaomei ruins the good things with his son. They hate it to the bone. No matter what. They would not agree for Gu Wenlin to take Bai Xiaomei away. They simply want to keep Bai Xiaomei by their side, to be their servant and do tasks for them. Plum blossoms cannot withstand the sudden arrival of the heavens, under the moonlight and flowers. The same cannot withstand the costs of living rice, oil, and salt. As time passed, Gu Wenlin looked at Bai Xiaomei again, and she was no longer any different. Without Gu Wenlin's love, Bai Xiaomei was no better than a common market shrew. Not long after, Gu Wenlin requested an external transfer, and this time he did not bring White Xiaomei. Later I heard that White Xiaomei fought back. She and Gu's father and Gu's mother tormented each other, and they both had a very hard time. Later I heard that Gu Wenlin had an affair. In a fit of anger, Bai Xiaomei ran to the unit and reported Gu Wenlin. When Gu Wenlin was in Yuanshan village, taking advantage of his drunkenness, he sexually assaulted her. This is something I didn't expect. As expected, someone who can put up with a scumbag for a lifetime isn't a good person. To my surprise, it was Gu Wenlin, in the previous life. He resented me because of a remark from Bai Xiaomei about regrets. Looking at Bai Xiaomei's portrait, he was grieving bitterly to the core. When he saw me leave, he felt pain and remorse. He's never shown much devotion to Bai Xiaomei in this life either. Turns out I overestimated him. A soul rotten to the core only loves itself. How could there be true remorse? It's just the stubbornness of losing what was not achieved. Fortunately, in this life I escaped from that prison. Life's prospects are bright. The end.